So what exactly is a CSGO cheat and how does it work? So my own definition of a CSGO cheat is a program which takes the memory of the game and it uses that information in order to give you some sort of advantage. So the first step to understanding CSGO cheats is understanding how memory works. Whenever you boot up CSGO, a bunch of temporary information is stored, such as your health, the weapon you have out, or your location. All that information exists actually on the RAM and can be accessed with programs like Ollie Debug, Cheat Engine, etc. Now these programs will store that information in the form of pointers, offsets, and addresses, and these addresses can be used by the cheat program in order to actually locate where, for example, the health is in memory, so it can use that in the cheat program itself. Now there are two types of CSGO cheats. There are internal cheats and there are external cheats. And internal cheats basically are able to intercept functions in CSGO, for example, plus jump or plus attack. Now internal cheats usually come in the form of a DLL, whereas external cheats are usually EXEs. There's no significant difference except that a DLL file cannot be executed by itself. It requires an injector, whereas the EXE can take the handle of the CSGO process and use that in the program. So I'm going to explain how aimbots basically work. So wherever you're aiming in the game, that is stored in the memory, and it's called a view angle, and that information can be used by the cheat, but not only accessed, the cheat can also actually set your own view angle, changing where you're aiming. And so the cheat will say, where's the enemy's location? It will then take your own view angle, so where are you aiming? It will then correct your view angle and then set the view angle with the offset accordingly. So it'll basically make a calculation with all those pieces of information. It also has logical components such as determining if the enemy is alive or not, or on your same team. Now using the console command HUD_show target ID 1, I'm trying to demonstrate the concept of a trigger bot. You can see whenever you actually hover over an enemy or a different type of entity on CSGO, that information is stored also somewhere in the memory. And what the trigger bot can do is it can detect that you're aiming at an enemy. It can detect that it's not an ally, for example, and then it will just automatically shoot once that detection is made. So there are two types of Bunnyhop hacks. There's internal and external, and what the internal will do is it will check a flag in the memory. So whether you're jumping, crouching, shooting, it will check that, and if you are jumping, then it will negate the jump, and if you aren't jumping, then it will plus jump, or it will insert a jump. The external is pretty much the same, but instead of inserting a jump through the hooked process, it will just insert the key instead. So now that you're used to the concept of taking information from the memory and then using that in the cheat program, usually obviously the memory is stored in the form of offsets, but the ESP, really all it does is we have some way with the cheat to draw information on the screen, and we take the player's location and we draw that. So yeah, pretty simple, all of that text, ESP, etc. There's aim lines like what I was telling you with the view angles and stuff. But anyways, thing I want to talk about is the menu and the kind of cheat logic. So basically when the cheat is running, it runs in a loop, and that loop continually checks if the checkboxes and all the other sliders, it continually checks if those are true or false and the slider values, and so that the cheat will keep, whenever you change it, it'll just change instantly basically. So I'll show you the ESP loop right here. So most of the checkboxes are Boolean values, they're true or false, and whenever they're checked, they're true. When they're unchecked, they're false, and obviously the cheat will just keep checking if they're true or false. But anyways, menus are pretty simple. Hope you guys learned something from this video. I'm not the best expert at cheats, but I've recently been looking at cheat source codes and pasting my own cheat. So I hope the things I said in this video were not too complicated. But if you are interested in learning more about cheats, I recommend pasting a recently released version of Aware. I actually got it from Unknown Cheats. I'll put the link in the description, and it works right now. You can paste it, and it's really fun for like testing out certain things. Like you can put different text to the screen, you can change the name of the menu, and I wouldn't obviously not sell that cheat, but it is really good to just mess around with it to see how these cheats work. So this is my paste. It's called Gayware because it's a paste to Aware, but you can see I have different text on the screen. I changed its color as well, just messing around with it. I changed a few things on the menu. I was looking at a lot of the code so I would better understand the cheat and the framework and how it pretty much works. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and peace out.